Thank you so much for watching the previous video. Recently, I saw my sister in London, one of my best YouTubers. She mentioned why a lot of Africans in diaspora are economically down or they are broke. Before I go deep into that, let me explain what immigration is. People migrate. Let's get back in the 1900s. Let's go back in the 1800s. The Dutch settlers leaving the Dutch Empire, ending up settling in Cape Town. The Americans coming from Europe, coming to America. The European settlers in the US. So people travel for different reasons. And when you speak about people in the diaspora, we go back which kind of immigrants are, like which direction. For example, I'm first generation immigrant. When I came here, I was the first one to come here. So my children, it's gonna be a different story. When you come, when you have a soft landing, when people have leveled the ground for you, it's a different case when somebody just migrate with a visit visa, or when somebody face some kind of war in their country and boo, they have lost everything. The country is smashed on the ground. They come from Syria and then they come to a new country and they have to start afresh. Some of us are privileged. We are lucky that we know the language. When you come to Canada or in America or in England, like, it's easy to communicate because most of the schools in Africa, they teach English. We come from the British colonies. But think about it, somebody's from Syria and then he comes to a big city like New York and they can't even speak a language. And the city is very fast. So that immigrant is gonna face different challenges that I'm gonna face. So you went to London when you are on a study visa, and there are ways for you to navigate to beat your immigration system. Some people come on a visit visa and they have to first struggle to fix their immigration system, to fix their status. It is not easy. Some countries, it takes forever, takes 10 years, takes 5 years. All those years you are waiting. You may be working, but you don't know what is the fear of the unknown. So that thing being on your mind, all the money you make, you send it home. And which home, you don't know if you're gonna go back. So number one reason why immigrants are broke or they stay economically down, some of the reasons, they are inevitable. Immigration is one company. If you mess up with immigration, you are in big trouble. Because if I like this jumper. I love it very much. I like the word champion because I believe on this channel we're gonna raise champions. So if one day I wake up and I say I don't like this jumper, I'll throw it away and I get an Adidas or I get a Nike, whatever. But if I'm having issues with the immigration, I can't just wake away and I drop my file. No, I'm still gonna deal with one company. So immigration, the delays in immigration keep a lot of people unsettled, like the fear of the unknown. That is a big factor why people, they are broke, because all the money they are making, they are sending it home. Like maybe they wanna construct a house, they wanna buy land, but they are doing all this when they are not there. They are depending on people whom they left. And majority of the people who stay behind, not all of them are honest, not all of them are truthful. So they may take advantage of that. So people may end up being broke, not because they want, but simply because they don't have trustworthy people. And there's nothing you can do. Those 5 years, those 6 years, yes, you can save your money, but still, remember these immigrants, the people who are living in the diaspora right now, we had to face President Trump twice, not once. Let me say again, not once, twice. I'm not saying that the policies of President Trump are not good or I'm against him, but we all know where he stands when it comes to immigration. So that alone can can create uncertainties, can create fear of unknown, and people are scared. People think they're gonna lose their status. So all the money they make, they send it to their countries. So in that is some of the reason why they end up being broke. Number two, you mentioned about marrying the wrong partner. That doesn't apply to Africans alone or immigrants alone. No, that is a universal factor. I'm gonna give you an example. Bill Gates divorced his wife. Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, let me repeat, the owner of Amazon, divorced. Can we say that Jeff Bezos had a wrong marriage? He married a wrong partner? I don't know. But they made a divorce after so many years. So marrying a wrong partner that may not even contribute to your downfall economically. It can crush you. So that is true, but not only to us immigrants or people in diaspora, everybody. I have a lot of friends. When you go live in shelters, you meet people in shelters, and some of them, they are very educated. Some of them, they are highly up there in the sky when it comes to wisdom. But they resort to drinking, smoking, and being unproductive. They just sit the entire day. And when you ask them, I went through a divorce, I couldn't handle it mentally, and I crashed. Now I'm here smoking cigarettes, crushing my lungs. So the idea of marrying a wrong partner is paramount, is a universal principle. If you marry a wrong person, and it's both either on the side of the man or on the side of the woman. So that alone is not for immigrants alone. I've seen a lot of Americans and a lot of Canadians. All of them, they are in the same boat. When you go to court, you'll be shocked. When you go and see the divorce rate in North America, you're gonna be shocked. So that is not making us economically down. It's a universal principle. Then, a lot of people complain about their baby mamas. A lot of people think that they are economically down because they brought a woman from their country. Let me tell you something. I come from Uganda, and recently I was forced to go to Google and learn about the minimum wage in Uganda. And I was shocked that people work for $50 a month. Not an hour, not a day, not a week, a month. $50 a month. So you get somebody from Uganda who has been earning $50. You bring them to New York and they study the system. You bring them to London. You bring them to Toronto, Vancouver. You bring them to Oslo, wherever you are staying. Remember, in the Western world, women are highly, let me repeat, they are highly emphasized to be skillful. So they help them. There are so many resources for them. They are empowered. So if somebody is earning peanuts, earning less money, and they come from the poorest country, then they come to these Western countries. They have a lot of resources. They're being helped. They're being empowered in different sectors. And now money amplifies their characters. Because all of a sudden, you've been earning $50. Now you are earning $4,000. And sometimes you think you're on top of the mountain. Sometimes you get arrogant. Sometimes you get that pride. Okay, I have arrived. Let me step on people. So you lose that humility because you think now you can technically lead. You can decide your destinations. Remember, when we are back in Africa, the man has a lot of power. They have a lot of energy. The financial responsibilities lies on a man in Africa, in many, most especially where I come from. But when you come to the Western world, then you have to share responsibilities. You have to share, you cannot live on a single check. And then our sisters are not raised that way. They are raised that like to depend on a man. I'm not saying in every family, but majority of the people where I come from, they look at a man as a financial transaction. I don't know how you called it somewhere. I'm responding to a video that I saw on YouTube a few days ago, why Africans in diaspora are broke. So it comes, there are so many factors. We are the largest number, like you said, we Africans are the largest number who are employed. That is true, but not true. You mentioned about the Chinese, that it is very difficult to find the Chinese working for some people. You see, China is the factory of the world. They don't come here to earn a living. They come to the Western world to learn English. They come here because they are rich. They don't come here to work for people. Let me give you an example. In Canada, they brought a law that no foreigners are supposed to buy real estate. Do you know why? Because a lot of people from Asia used to come here and they buy the building and the building is empty. They have the money. They have the business mindset, like you said. And they bring in the money, and then the locals cannot compete with such money. So China, they have a different culture. They are the manufacturing factories of the world. They are up there in the sky when it comes to the money. So for the Chinese not to work for, they actually, when you go in New York, you're gonna find a Chinatown. When you come to Toronto, you're gonna find a Chinatown. When you go to Vancouver, everywhere there is a Chinatown, because they have a system whereby they have the products that we use in a day-to-day life. So for them, business is everything. You don't expect them to work for you, no way. This is why President Trump is getting crazy with them, like I wanna put a lot of tariffs on them. I wanna put a lot of tax on them. So Chinese, they are good in business, but don't compare Chinese to Africans. They are very rich. They are very good how to handle money, but again, they come with massive resources. Because when we come to this country, some of us, we have even $100 in our pocket. They come with money. Literally, I have a friend of mine, he's Chinese, and I asked him why he came to Canada, and he said, I came here to learn English. And I'm like, I'm chasing hours. I'm running day and night to find better jobs. But for him, he's very calm. Mommy sends the money. Then when time comes, he goes back to China. And it's like, I don't want to become a Canadian citizen. China is okay. So with Chinese, they're already up there. Yes, some few, they are poor. I'm not saying every Chinese, but majority of the people, majority of the Chinese I've met, they are economically up. That's why they don't want to work for people. Indians, they are very good. They are very good when it comes to unity. Because you will find Indians, 25 of them staying in a 4-bedroom apartment. They put double deckers there. And they will stay in that house for 10 years. For 10 years. And they will save enough money. They will save enough money for everybody to buy a house. That's why in Toronto, there's a place called Brampton. When you go to Brampton, they bought the entire town. So there are so many things that contribute for Africans to be economically down. Yes, when you mentioned about not working together, when we are not united, that is very true. My sister Lulu, that is extremely true. We don't work together. So I respect the Indians. Yes, people may complain about them, but they have the audacity, they have the capacity, the patience the patience, 25 people staying in a 4-bedroom apartment for 10 years. And all of them have one mission, that by the end of 10 years, each one of us gonna have a house. Indians respect. That's why you see them dominating so many, because once they dominate a place, they bring other people in that place. They wanna occupy everything for themselves. So yes, the reason why we are broke, we don't work together as Africans. That's very true. And when it comes to East Africans, then things become worse. You Nigerians are working together. Somewhere, sometimes I see you share information. Can you imagine? I was in New York and then I saw a Nigerian school and they were teaching in Igbo. Can you imagine? A school, the entire school, and they were teaching Igbo. Kids are learning Igbo in New York. So Nigerians have that kind of solidarity. And then you mentioned about false hope, churches. My sister, yes, this is true. I went to Boston some time back just to check it out, to compare and contrast the difference between America and Canada. And we have a large Ugandan community in Boston, most especially in Burlington and in Waltham and in Woburn. There are so many people. Actually, when you walk in Waltham, you cannot walk 10 to 15 minutes without meeting somebody from Uganda. But what struck me, what surprised me, every corner there is a church. Let me repeat. You talk to people, you meet them on the street, but everybody will invite you to their church. Everybody is a pastor. The Chinese, they have factories, they have cities, they have malls. But then we came with this ideology of, I have to pray. I'm not dismissing praying. Praying is very important, but we have to work. We need opportunities. So I saw that, and you are very, very right when you mention about the praying thing, the church construction. The church, people spend more time. Every person you meet, they are inviting you on a Friday night, overnight. They're inviting you on a Monday meeting. They are inviting you on a Sunday meeting. They don't invite you to come, I have a factory, can you come work? Because when I come from wherever I come from, I don't come to pray. I come to work. I want to get better economically. I want to move forward. So the Chinese, they beat us. The Indians beat us in that area because they have employment agencies and we have churches. In church, there's no work. We pray, we sing, we greet one another, we have coffee, and that's it. So you are right when you speak about spending more time in churches, because everywhere there is a church. Yeah, you go to Waltham. I was very shocked. But then when you look for jobs, when you look for, very few people have employment agents. And if they do, they will not just welcome you to join their agencies. So you are right when you mentioned about the praying. You know, it's funny that in China they don't believe in God, but they are the second largest economy in the world after United States. So I think you are right when you mentioned about why a lot of immigrants are broke, or a lot of Africans living in diaspora broke, is because they spend more time in their communities and then sticking to their religious beliefs. Then you mentioned something in your video, in the second video I watched, when you mentioned about the trade. The Western world has a system, and you cannot bypass the system. There are universities in place. They teach a lot of stuff. They teach different courses. You see, I have a friend of mine. He used to be a good carpenter, and he could literally demolish the house and then build it. He has that skill. Very few people have that kind of a skill. That guy married a lady from this country. When I say from this country, he married. I don't like to say people, I don't like to classify people when I say white, black, whatever. No, I don't see people white or black, whatever, because no one is black and no one is white. The person claiming to be white may be pink, and the person claiming to be black may be chocolate. So she was good, and she used the system of their advantage. They had 5 houses, and I asked this guy, how did you manage to have 5 houses? And like, ask my wife. So he let the wife do the work that the guy cannot do, but the guy will go and fix the house. So why we don't get into the trades? In North America, especially Canada and US, they have LUUNA, International Labor's Union. So there is every trade they have a union. The carpenters union, the plumbers union. They have rules and regulations, and it takes 5 years to become a certified plumber, 5-6 years to become a certified electrician, depending on the state and location and the province where you are. But the reason why we don't get into that, we come from formal education. We are taught, get a degree, get a job, and we will do social work. We will do, like you said, procurement. We will do IT. We will do healthcare jobs, because that's how the system back home taught us. And then when we come here, you see, majority of these trade jobs is occupied by Brazilians, Portuguese, and Indians. No, so not Indians, Italians. So we can get inside there into the trade jobs, but we don't dominate. We are few. And there is what we call job politics. And I guess a lot of you people living in diaspora, you've seen it. Sometimes you go to a company and they only employ you because you come from a certain kind of people. So that alone discourages people joining the trades. You can become a skilled trade, like you can become a plumber, you can become a carpenter, but it can just help you as a person. Yes, you can work for big companies. So the reason why I don't want to use this as an excuse, but every field has people who dominate. And we always go to a place where we feel we are comfortable. But again, I will encourage everybody to go and study and get a degree, because you don't know when you're going to need it. Recessions happen. Sometimes people change. Like you may be in good books with your boss, and then they change your boss, then you lose your job. So the only thing to depend on is your skill, is your attitude. Remember, the degree will open a door for you, but it is your character, it is your determination to sustain that job, or to stay in that company. So at the end of the day, I think why we are broke, I'm gonna summarize this entire video. Today is a little bit longer. I wanted to talk to you because I felt like I needed to speak. I understand this topic. Number one, immigration. Immigration delays us. Number two, she mentioned about getting a wrong partner, but that alone, like marrying a wrong person, that's white. That's not only Africans, everybody. Number three, we don't work together. Yes. And number four, we spend more time with religious activities. And then number five, we don't go for specific skills like trades that will bring in a lot of money. Yeah, the trades are good, but they have their politics, because anything you do, you have to have a license. You have to have a license. If something goes wrong, some people just prefer to do a job and they don't have any strings attached. So with those 5 points or reasons, I think people are broke because of that. But for me, I would say immigration. You cannot know. You can't. Some countries take forever. Some people are lucky. Some people travel when they even know their status. Some people come and try. Some, they even give up and go back to their countries. I'll come back and speak in the next video. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. Thank you. Please share the video, subscribe so that I keep growing on YouTube. Remember, persistence wears out resistance. Don't give up. Don't give up. As long as you still breathe, persistence wears out resistance. Subscribe and like. Then I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. God bless you, my sister. God bless you, my brother.